process, drying process, we use the tray dryer. So basically, drying is a process of removing water from wet substances to any unsaturated gas phase. So for drying process, there are two variables that affect the drying process, which is the number one is the air temperature and the number two is the air velocity. So drying process have many applications in the industry, such as pharmaceutical industry, food industry, and also agriculture industry. And drying process also have many types of dryer, such as tray dryer, like our experiment, rotary dryer, continuous dryer, and also palm dryer. So for this experiment, we use thermal method, which is the process uses the hot gases to remove the water from the wet solid. And for this experiment also, we use batch of process, which means that we just put the sand on the tray and then put the tray on the instrument for the drying process. So for this experiment, a little bit about the theory of the drying process, which drying rate of the wet solid in air change throughout the drying period, since the controlling factors are different for each major section of the drying rate curve. So what is drying rate curve? Drying rate curve consists of two axes, which is the x-axis at the free moisture content, while the y-axis is the drying rate. So in this curve, there are three phases of this, which is the initial rate, the constant rate evaporation, and also the falling rate. So at the initial rate, from A to B, it is said that the evaporation rate is increased. Then B to C, and the evaporation rate is constant, while B to E, so the falling rate from C to E, there is no longer evaporation occur. So from the drying rate curve, we can say that at the steady state, the temperature Ti, which is the temperature of liquid gas interface, is equal to the wet bulb temperature of the drying air. So we can conclude that the drying rate is proportional to the difference between the dry and wet bulb temperature of the air. So for our experiment, the objective is, first, for experiment A, we want to investigate the influence of air temperature on the drying rate of wet solid in air at a fixed velocity, while in experiment B, we want to investigate the air velocity on the drying rate of wet solid in air at fixed humidity and fixed temperature. That's all.
The equipment used in this experiment is actually a tray dryer. A tray dryer is actually a batch drying equipment. It comprises of an air duct that mounted on a floor standing frame. It is equipped with a motor-driven air flow fan that draws the air into the duct. The speed can be controlled up to 2 meters per second in the duct. The air passes into the central section of the duct, where the trays of the material to be dried are suspended in the airstream. The material used in this experiment is actually a sand. For experiment A, we studied on the effect of air temperature on the drying rate by keeping constant the velocity. Firstly, we fill the tray with sufficient dry sand and wet the dry sand before it is being saturated with water. After it is being saturated with water, the total weight of the wet sand is measured before the drying is started. After that, the heater power is set to off and the fan is switched on to point 1. After that, the heater power is set to be at point A. arbitrary time which is at t equals to 0. Once the value of the heater power is stable, the wet bulb and dry bulb temperature is measured. The weight of the sand is continuously measured until the value of the mass is equal to the dry sand. The total weight of the sand is continuously taken until the process of the drying is complete. To know whether the drying process is complete is by comparing the value of the mass of the sand with the mass of the dry sand before the process is started. The experiment will be repeated by keeping constant the velocity of the fan and changing the heater power to V. For experiment B, we study on the effect of air velocity by keeping constant the air temperature. Firstly, we fill the tray with sufficient dry sand and weight the dry sand before it is being saturated with water. Once it is being saturated with water, the weight of the wet sand is being measured before the drying process is commenced. The heater power is set to off. The fan is set to be at point 1 and the heater power is set to be point B. At time equals to 0, once the heater power is stable, the wet bulb and the dry bulb temperature as well as the relative humidity of the process should be measured. And at every 50-second interval, the wet bulb temperature, the dry bulb temperature, and as well as the relative humidity of the process is taken until the drying process is stopped. The experiment is repeated by keeping constant the heater power at B and change the fan to point 2. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, so we have high. Okay, for my part, I will explain about the discussion. For this discussion, it will consist of two experiments, which is the experiment A and the experiment B. Okay, firstly, I will explain the experiment A. Experiment A is the experiment is about the effect of air temperature at constant velocity. Okay, in the experiment A, the main thing that we constant is the air velocity, but our manipulated variable is the heater. Okay, when we use the heater A, the value of dry mass is 714.43 gram, and the wet mass of A is 715.6 gram. Okay, when we use the heater B, the mass is 714.43 gram, and the wet temperature and the wet mass is 714.55 gram. Okay, as you can see, this is the graph 1, which is the time versus moisture content. For this graph, it consists of from the heater A and the heater B. And then for the graph 2, this is the drying rate versus the moisture content for heater B. And then for the graph 3 is the drying rate versus the moisture content of the heater A. Okay, for this experiment, the important parameter is the dry bulb. Is because the dry bulb comes from the air temperature. Okay, so why is it called the dry bulb? It is called the dry bulb because the air temperature that has been taken from the surrounding is not affected by the moisture of the air. This is because to measure the dry bulb temperature, we need to use the thermometer that we need to use thermometer that will collect the temperature of the air, but that can shield the radioactive and the moisture in the air. Okay, now we move to the second important parameter, which is the moisture content. What is meant by the moisture content? Moisture content is the ratio of mass of water over the mass of the sample substance. And then we move to the discussion. For this discussion, we will use the graph of the first graph, which is time versus moisture content. Okay, for this discussion, as I said just now, our moisture variable is the heater, where we got two, heater A and the heater B. But for this moisture variable, the heater B is higher than the heater A. So basically, in the heater B, it will contain a higher temperature rather than the heater A. Okay, and then about the graph, although the heater B contain the higher value than the heater A, but both of these show a decreasing value. It's because as time goes by, the moisture content on the sand keep evaporate. Okay, from this experiment A, from the heater B, it shows a good result because the time taken for the heater B to completely remove all of the moisture content all of the moisture content from the sand is only 600 seconds. Why? For the experiment for the heater A, it needed 1050 seconds to remove completely the moisture from the sand. And that's all for the experiment A. Okay. Now I will explain about the experiment B, which is the effect of air velocity at constant temperature. For this experiment, we will keep the heater B as constant. Okay. From the experiment, we will use the example data that we use is from example from the fan 1. The dry mass that we get is 531.91 gram, and the wet mass after we add the water is 533.50 gram. Okay, as you can see, for the graph 1, it shows the drying rate versus the time, which consists of the fan 1 and the fan 2. And for the graph 2, it consists of rate of drying versus the time versus the moisture content. Okay, for this experiment, the hypothesis is that the air velocity is also an important parameter that can affect the drying rate. It's because as the air velocity increase, the rate of drying will also increase. Okay, the constant variable that we have in this experiment is the heater that we use, the heater B, and our manipulated variable is the velocity of air, which we use two fan 1 and fan 2. But the air velocity of fan 2 is higher than the air velocity from the fan 1. The moisture as you can see from the graph, graph 1, which is the drying rate versus time, the moisture content decrease versus time is because either the air velocity is high or low, the moisture content still keep evaporate. Okay, for the discussion part, we will use the graph 1 as our reference, which is the drying rate versus the time, which consists of graph 1, which is consists of fan 1 and the fan 2. Okay, for this graph, it shows that the air velocity really affect the drying rate. It's because the higher velocity will lead to the higher drying rates. What will happen if the air velocity is low, not a high air velocity? Okay, the low velocity will cause a low drying rate. It's because as air reaches the sample, the temperature drops and it becomes saturated, and the amount of evaporation of the moisture is reduced, and that's why when low velocity make the low drying rate. And that's all. Thank you.
From the result presented above, we can notice that there was an inconsistency in temperature and mass reading. This was due to two main reasons. The first one, the fluctuation on fan speed. The ventilation inside the room wasn't constant, and that greatly affected our result. So to overcome this situation, the room should be kept closed throughout the whole experiment. The second reason is the amount of water used for each sample. It was difficult, not to say impossible, to express exactly the same amount of water for different samples. So to overcome this situation, we can use a volumetric cylinder to measure the amount of water, instead of just spraying. Here's a conclusion. In drying process, there are two transfer phenomena taking place at the same time. The first one is mass transfer, when water leaves the dry sand and goes to flowing air. And the second is energy transfer. This takes place during the heating of the sample. In this experiment, we had two sections with two different objectives. The first section was to analyze the effect of air temperature on drying rate. And for that, we realize that the air temperature is proportional to drying rate, meaning that at higher temperatures, the drying process is faster. And the second section was to analyze the air velocity, the effect of air velocity on the drying rate. And from the result we obtained, we can conclude that higher air velocity will promote higher drying rate.